All right, real quick for those of you guys that are listening, we're gonna try to chop this video up and edit up a little bit better. But we're here with the owners of Palm Place, Marc and Alex. We kind of dived into the conversation a little bit. You guys specialize in
content creation and
content
marketing.
creator. Okay, so you know now the world's turning with content. Everybody needs content. Marc was kind of telling us a little bit about how he started getting into the content creating or the business side of it when you were
Just more like, I would say, like e-commerce. When
E-commerce?
I was like in high school.
in high school. How old were you?
Yeah, I was about like 16 years old.
16 years old.
And how did you, what inspired you to even get into that at 16? Like most 16-year-olds are not thinking about e-commerce and business. Like
Yeah.
what kind of inspired you to start getting into that?
I don't know. I just had this like passion for business since I was younger.
Okay.
I had like a lot of other clothing companies and like business networking companies. I tried just about everything. And then he was bodybuilding and just like at the gym all the time. And I stopped playing football and just wanted to go into bodybuilding. And I was like just watching a lot of the influencers online, like Randall, with the Fit,
Yeah.
like Christian Guzman, those guys, like watching the daily vlogs.
The originators.
Yeah.
And that inspired me. So I wanted to start something, since I was passionate about fitness and clothing, I wanted to start a fitness clothing company. So got into that, and yeah.
So were you kind of the first one to like approach your brother with it, or did you start this on your own and then it just kind of blossomed into like a family business? Like what was the first steps that you guys, because I think we have a lot of listeners that are probably around, I would say the demographic is like a young 18 to 30. And a lot of them have no experience with entrepreneurship, right? Like their family, like my family wasn't entrepreneurs. So you being so young, kind of tell the people listening, what was some of the hardships you had? I mean, you look young. You just turned what, 23?
23.
Yeah. So that's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah. and did you learn anything from him too, from like failures or even things to help you succeed in what you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, my entire life trying to start businesses, like I had a clothing company in the 5th grade. That's when I built like my first website, screen printed my first t-shirts.
5th grade?
Yeah. So
What were you doing? What were you doing when you were in 5th grade?
That's what I'm saying. 5th grade.
Holy shit.
I honestly can't remember. I think I was playing outside, probably, I don't know, 5th grade. You're in
Jump rope and
elementary
shit.
school.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah,
creating?
no, he was slinging t-shirts for
yeah,
sure.
You were too.
I had an older brher, so
Oh, wow.
I was experiencing all these things. Like there was a company in his grade that was doing it, and I was like, I want to do this.
That's so
So I
fucking
would
cool.
see it,
What year was
and then I
this?
would try to do it. I don't know what year. I can't.
He was in 5th grade, though. Like, he's in
grade, I'm trying to
elementary
think.
school.
First of all,
Probably
if he has a business at 5th grade, you should remember the year that you were in 5th grade because
I'm kind of mind blown by that.
No,
And
it's-
then what were you doing when he was in 5th grade selling T-shirts?
So you were in 5th grade? What was that? I was just going into high school. At that time, I was just,
Okay,
I was kind of just doing the normal thing at
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
But yeah, slowly realizing school wasn't really my thing. So starting to kind of like pivot out of it. Definitely started getting into fitness like a lot more around the end of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of like my transition. I started doing that and like taking working out like a lot more serious. We didn't really, like I played sports, like I wrestled, I did lacrosse. He played football. Like we played sports throughout, but we weren't like huge sports guys. Like we don't really watch sports or anything like that. So at that time, like fitness was getting really big, like the Randalls, the Guzmans,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So we, I just started working out like pretty seriously. And then there was like a nutrition shop in the Bay Area that my buddy owned. And I mean, at that point, like I would just see him at the gym and I was like, damn, this guy's like jacked. I want to be like that. Like, and kind of just like looked up to him a lot and like people in his circle, and then started working out a lot and then got to know him. And then it led to working at that nutrition shop, and that kind of introduced us to a lot of different people in the industry and just a lot of like people that were doing things a little bit differently, and allowed us to see that you could do it a little differently,
Right.
I think. And at that same time, he was going through like building his company and all of that. And I think he approached me to take pictures for his company because I started doing it for like the nutrition shop and stuff like that. And then he can kind of take it from there. But that's kind of how that started.
So I mean, I was always building businesses. I had that clothing company in the 5th grade. I joined like a business class in my school, which was trying to start a bunch of different stuff. I did like another clothing company my freshman year of high school. Just like I would see things and I'd want to do them, or I was interested in like the market and how so much people were spending money like with something so basic. And then clothing always interested me because of that. So I decided to start the clothing company with a friend of mine, and then at the time I was like super nervous because I'd failed so many times when I was younger, and like when you're
Well, you
a
were
little
in fifth
kid,
grade.
yeah. But when you're a little kid and you like start doing something different than everybody else, everyone looks at you and is like, why are you doing that?
Right.
You know? And it's weird, and then it doesn't work out, and so there's jokes and there's all these different things that come along with it. So I was really, really nervous to start like my clothing company. So I remember I didn't tell anybody, like any of my friends. I mean, my brother knew obviously, but I didn't like announce it to anybody that it was mine. I just like wanted to get it out there and do it and not listen to what people had to say. And it eventually grew to a decent size, and then I started telling people that it was mine, and all the jokes and everything kind of shut up once it got to like a certain point. But I approached him to start doing the content, and then he obviously knew a ton of people in the fitness space at the time, just in our area. So I ordered like 50 t-shirts, gave out 25, kept 25 to sell, and gave them to like the owners of nutrition shops, bodybuilders in the area, and he helped me with that, and all of his friends supported, so they kind of became like my team. And that's how we got started. And then we were doing everything for the clothing company, and the owner of the nutrition shop, John, he needed all of that stuff. So like athletes, social media, content creation, marketing. So we came on his team and just started building that.
Yeah, and he had a supplement company named Mile Blocks that was like huge in the area at the time, and it was a very like hometown grown thing. But I mean, honestly, like he started limited editions. All these brands now do all these limited editions. This was like way before any other company had it. And he would do seasonal drops and like all this stuff.
Like flavors and shit?
Yeah, like flavors, like werewolf blood for Halloween and cryo series for like December. And I started working at the nutrition shop when I was like 18, 19. Oh, hi, Kona. Like 18, 19. And there would be like a line around the block, like when these things would drop. Like we'd drop like 100 of them, or we dropped 666 when it was, werewolf blood, and they would literally all sell out in like a day. Like I'd be on the phone all day, like people ordering, picking up like 10 of them, like all this stuff. Like it became like collector's items, like if it was like sneakers.
Wow.
So like that was really cool to be able to, be a part of that, and it kind of helped us like branch out and meet all these people that were coming in to get that. So it was like a easy kind of flow into, different things for the brand and such like that.
I think he wants to come on.
I think he might.
That's fine. So those of you guys that can't see, he's off camera. Alex brought his dog, and it's not a little dog either.
And he's staring, like he's literally giving him the puppy eyes.
So for me, it's a lot. I mean, you're probably the youngest entrepreneur I've ever had on here. So first of all, kudos to you for that. But there's so much I want to dissect. And even going back to like the 5th grade, are your parents entrepreneurs themselves?
No.
No.
My dad was a police officer. My mom didn't. She raised us and then just got like a part-time job at Kaiser.
So you would say like, because you said like the people that you're around, you would see people do it. So your biggest influence to pursue being an entrepreneur, right? Because again, I had none of that around me. So it took me being around other entrepreneurs to understand, like you said, the doors that you can open. So what was the biggest influence for you to like really, even at 5th grade, let's just say even high school, to pursue that stuff and stay consistent with it?
I mean, definitely, I think my parents worked really hard to put us into like private school and just like surround us around people with, with more money and more opportunities. So I think that was a big influence. I think seeing it firsthand, especially in high school, like my friend group was mainly like consisted of people who were like millionaires and families who had a lot of money. So I would see like the cars, the houses, everything like right in front of my face. And then all the opportunity that you would ever want, and people not taking advantage of it. So I think that really made me want to get to a certain level, and I knew it was possible because I could see, I could touch it. So that inspired me, and then just social media for sure, being able to like come in contact with content creation and brands and these influencers doing this stuff and showing how they're doing it, and just knowing it's possible and someone's out there doing it, so why can't that person be me? I think that was the biggest thing.
And would you say, since you started in 5th grade, would you say that your parents were a big support system with that? Because obviously, like, where did you get the money to start this in 5th grade, right? Yeah. Did they help you a lot in that aspect?
Yeah, they gave me $80 to order t-shirts in 5th grade.
So they supported you at a young age.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean,
awesome.
Overall, our parents in general, like even if they didn't agree with us, supported us.
Yeah,
which we were blessed.
That's
to have.
awesome.
So there was definitely some battles. Like even when I dropped out of school at like 19. Then he dropped out of school at 19. So shit. It was just like, it was definitely like kind of frowned upon, but I think as much as even they didn't agree with it, they still
supported you guys and wanted the best for you.
Yeah,
which was,
it's just the worry that, it's not going to work out. And you know, I mean, every parent's going to deal with that. It's hard. Like, they worked so hard to put us through school and to get us to college and to give us that opportunity, and for both of us to just be like,
oh, bro, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I have a daughter right now.
We straight up went to like private school since we were like 4.
Wow.
So, it was, like,
So
the
my
most
daughter's
expensive
currently in private school. As a little kid, I'm paying for that, so I couldn't even.
Exactly.
I'd be fucking.
Yeah.
I'm mad right now. As your parents.
But what I would say is there's so many people out there, right, that feel like there's this stigma that they have to go to school and they have to go to college to pursue to make their parents happy, when really, instead of taking that, like, you guys really took a leap of faith and were just like, no, I want to pursue this creative direction that you guys had, and that's great and it's working out. But what would you say to people out there who are in that same boat? Like, they're currently in school and they're currently doing these things, but would you say that school is a necessity for that, or would you what's like words of encouragement to like those type of people that you would use, that, you know, to take that leap of faith and pursue their dreams instead of their parents' dreams?
yeah, I don't think school is necessary unless there's specific jobs that you would need school for, like if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, etc. But my biggest piece of advice would be build like high income skills when you're young. Like, you have to like make yourself an asset. That's the biggest thing. You can't just say, I'm not going to do school and I'm going to become like a millionaire, or I'm going to own a business. You have to like learn everything that goes into a business, or pick one thing within a business that you're going to get really good at. So then you could be of value to other companies and eventually build your own. But I mean, with me, it was marketing. With him, it was content creation. If like we lost our businesses, I could go work somewhere in like marketing. He can go create content and create direct.
Yeah.
So you don't have school as your backup, but you have your skill set. So I would highly recommend that.
I mean, I think everything you're saying kind of goes back to what I feel every entrepreneur kind of refers back to, is the circle, right? The people you were in front of. And I think for you guys, that's so awesome to have seen that at a young age. For me, you know, I grew up we were poor, but I know there's people that were worse off, but all I saw was my dad go to work, get a check. We had some, you know,
get him, yeah.
Go ahead, go get your dog, you know. You know, but for me, the power of being around it is amazing to me, because like you said, you can see it, you can touch it. And now as I'm older and I'm around people that are millionaires, or people that do have, you know, a house in Malibu, and you're like, fuck, okay, you can get there if you follow X, Y, Z, so many streams of income. So I think it goes back to anyone that's listening, is like who you surround yourself with, right? So if you're in, I don't want to say 5th grade, because enjoy being in 5th grade, but those of you guys that know you're destined for more, you gotta find people that can nurture that and not kind of hinder that. And I think you kind of referred to that a little bit, like you were afraid to let people know because they were going to make fun of you and stuff like that. So building healthy relationships with people that are where you want to be, you know, i.e. finding a mentor or finding a group of people. I know it's hard. Now I feel like it's easier actually, because the younger generation, right?
I think that's so important. Is it's so cliche to say, but like, surround yourself with the people you want to be like, you know, and that's so important. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think I saw a luxury car until I got to high school. Yeah. Like, honestly, like my dad had like a Honda and like a Camry. So I remember the first time I went into someone's car that was like a Mercedes, I was like, what the fuck? People can actually have this kind of stuff? Or I went to an aunt's house that did really well, and this is when Fontana was barely being built out. She had a 2-story house. 2-story house, again,
was like
aging
a big
myself.
Deal. Yeah, yeah.
2-story houses were like, what the fuck? Are you like a millionaire? But now a millionaire is nothing. But it's like, I saw that it was attainable. I was like, how did she get this? And, you know, just talking to my aunt and then other people. But you guys got this at such a young age. I mean, I feel like that's such a powerful tool. Like, what now you guys are around people that are probably like multi-million-dollar, right? So what, you started Palm Palace when?
Palm Place.
Palm Place, I'm sorry.
About 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
It will be 2 years in December.
Yeah, pretty much like right around COVID hit. Him and I kind of came up with the idea, and then, I mean, we dabbled with the idea for a little bit. And it was pretty much just like bring like a group of freelancers together and like be able to work on some projects. Like, oh, if I could do photo and he can make websites and do marketing, and we get another guy that can do video, it's like we can probably tackle a couple businesses locally. Yeah. And we brought on our buddy Visuals is like his Instagram that he's kind of known for. And that idea just sprouted us 3. And then when COVID hit, like around that time, our buddy was opening up a gym, and he originally brought me in to like help him design like a juice bar for the gym or something like that. And then he ended up having an empty room, and we were like, oh, well, maybe we get like a little studio and we could do something inside of that. So that was pretty much the beginning of the company. And it was just like a small room, pretty much the size of this. Oh, wow. Like the 3 of us. we're just in there kind of working. We got like a little cheap backdrop and tried to figure it out from there. But that was how it started.
Would you say that, because you brought up COVID a few times, would you say that that's a time where you guys actually like thrived? Like that's kind of what helped you, because I feel like a lot of people actually came up during COVID.
Yeah, no, I tell
like,
people that all the
especially
time.
creatives, like they came up because you had to find other sources, right, of income and just other ways to like work.
Yeah.
Would you find that that's when you guys started taking off?
Yeah, for me, I'd say definitely. I think before COVID, there was a lot of ups and downs with the supplement company, and then he ended up leaving. COVID hit.
Yeah,
and
I quit 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
with no plan. We just moved to Huntington.
Really?
We were in Huntington for maybe like 6 months, and I had no job, really didn't know anybody, and quit. And then like 2 weeks after COVID hit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then for us, we had like some of our worst months at the supplement company, so I didn't know what I was going to do. But then COVID hit, and we started selling vitamins, greens, and all of that, and just like shifting all the marketing there. So then we had some of our best months. And then at that time, I had taken another job because I was nervous about the supplement company. I had a marketing agency and like retention marketing, and that's a whole other story. I did not know what I was doing, but it turned out okay. And then so now I ended up having like 2 incomes, and then like I was making really good money, and then we had just started Palm Place, and then I had a third income source, and I just went from like almost having nothing to then having like
three sources of income.
That's
Wow.
fucking life, though. And
Yeah.
I mean, remember me? I was dyeing T-shirts. That's how I was making money. Like I was fully dyeing T-shirts and like sweats.
I
And, like I
remember.
got through like with no money for like 2 months by just
Just
like,
by
making shit
creating.
in my apartment and selling it, and that's how I was
think
paying
I
rent.
think COVID is when you shot my daughter's
Yeah,
first
probably
birthday.
around then. I was just doing everything.
Yeah, because you kind of put out there like, hey, I'm doing like photography sessions, and my
that's
daughter
what,
had her first
Mark
birthday.
said it was like things that we were able to do that just kind of had our skill sets and kind of get by until we figured out. And then I started working for, I don't know if you know like Brandon Rudick, ID Supply Co.
not
So
familiar,
yeah, I
no.
started working with him, like his studio, and doing like photography for them. And they do like a lot of, I mean, they've blown up since then. Like they do like some
massive.
huge scale production. Like
Good for them.
all sorts of like apparel for, like Zoomies and like merchandising.
Oh, wow.
and
Oh, wow. That's
different
dope.
artists and stuff like that. So they're killing it. And then I ended up working with Randall too. So that kind of launched me into working at Live Fit for a little bit. So yeah, I was just kind of bouncing around and trying to see what would stick.
Yeah, it was a lot of ups and downs, and like I think like one time it was just like the reason Palm Place started was because we got called into a meeting, and it was basically like, hey, like we got 2 more months of this company, and then I think it's gonna like just shut down.
Yeah.
And then so we went into like panic mode. How are we gonna make money? We moved down here like to be these big shots, moved the supplement company, got a 12,000 square foot warehouse. Now it looks like everything's gonna fail. I left school, never really even started it, to be honest. He didn't have a degree. Our parents were already pissed.
Right.
They're like,
So
don't
it's
come to me for
Right.
anything.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go back. I mean, for me, I'd be starting at square one of college, have to move back in with my parents and just do school and like figure something out. And then for him, go back. I don't know.
So
He's
so
gonna
was
be
there
doing
ever a
so.
point where you guys just wanted to quit and then like just give up?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's always points that.
But I think it was just like, yeah, I don't think we could just quit, honestly.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, let's start like an agency. And then he thought of like Palmas Creative, and then I was like, let's just do
he really
Palmas.
capped on that
Palmas.
idea. He didn't like that idea at all.
And then we just started working. I think I spent like $50 on like an agency course and just started diving into it. And he started hitting up brands and like piecing together content. And we started just hitting up different companies for to give us like $250 a month for like services.
Yeah.
But now we probably charge like $5-10K for. So it was pretty crazy. So it started, and then just started getting side work, and building it up.
That's such a good question that you asked. Did you ever think about quitting? And I think everyone's reached that point where you're like, this is fucking a lot. I'm gonna quit, but you never do. Like we all get to the
Yeah.
ledge, but we never jump because we're like, what the fuck am I gonna go back to school? Am I gonna do a 9 to 5? I ain't gonna do any of this. So you revert back to your skills.
And that's what sets successful people apart from just like the average person, because the average person they'll try and then eventually they just give up because they're failures. They let their failures get to them. And the people who are successful, they just, no matter what gets in the way or how many times you fail, you just get back up and you keep trying, because eventually like it's gonna work, but it's all a learning process at the same time. And you guys have learned so much from your failures, I assume, and then that's why you guys are successful now.
Yeah. I think it takes two. It's like continuing the failures until you get like something done. I think you definitely have to do something. Like for us, like the supplement company, just be able to bring it to the heights that we did, it is that reassurance that like you can do it. You know what I mean? So I think just sticking it through until you can have some sort of success, and then always reverting back to that in your head. It's like, I made this happen. You know what I mean? And giving yourself reassurance. I think that's massive. I mean, you know, I face imposter syndrome all the time, and just like in everything we do, and we tackle new industries and things we've never done before, and it gets stressful, and sometimes you're just like, why am I doing this? And it's like, you know, oh, well, I could do it. Like, you know, we've done this, like we made some stuff happen before, so we can do it again.
I love that, because I think everyone goes through that imposter syndrome. You're like, what am I really that guy? Am I him? And then you're like, fuck yeah, I am, because I've got through X, Y, Z.
100%.
And you guys, I mean, guys, even coming into this, I didn't really know. I know Alex. Like, I've met you personally. It was the first time I met you. But even just seeing on social media, everything seems, obviously it's social media, but everything seems like so dope. Your life. I mean, I follow your stories. You guys are like with DJs. You guys are out. I feel like every fucking weekend, right? And as a married guy, I live my life through your guys' stories. Yeah, so I follow your guys' stories like crazy. And you guys are, it seems like you guys want to call that work? Is that considered work, what you guys do? So kind of like the people that are new to you guys, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to want to follow their Instagram and their stories. What is your company do with these DJs? Like, what it feels like the scope is fitness, businesses, everything. So
partying.
Partying.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do a little bit of everything. Like, you know, we have e-com brands. We've worked with, you know, really big companies. We work with startups, fitness space, fashion space. We just recently started working like in the music industry a little more. And that was a lot through like one of my friends just connected me with a DJ and went to dinner and wanted me to do some stuff with him. And then that kind of turned into doing content, turned into like traveling with him, turned into, you know, just us forming these good friendships with a lot of guys in the industry too. And now we're kind of doing like a lot more like merchandising and different work in that realm, as well as like different guys on our team are covering different shows and stuff like that. But essentially it also just became like friendships and you know, helping put on different events and stuff of that sort, and just like being a part of the mix. So that definitely opened some doors recently, and it's been a lot of like the going out and like the fun. Like, you know, Mark's birthday was last weekend, and we just played like a huge show, like sold out show. They sold out the Shrines, like 5,000 people.
Wow.
And then like we planned like a last minute after party after that I like put on with one of our other friends for like the DJ. And it was just like a bunch of different, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because all these different opportunities have just popped up. And it's like, I guess like my big thing is just like say yes to things and like try to give people the time of day. And like, you don't really know who you're going to meet. Like one of my buddies, like, throws my name in every single room you can think of. His name's Justin. Shout out to Justin.
Hey, that's a real one right there.
Yeah, to throw your name in it.
And I just texted him before I got here, and it's just funny because it's like he'll like, hey, I put you up for this, and like I'll have no idea what I'm walking into, and it's like, and that's kind of how that was. It was like I've never worked in any music thing or anything like that, and it was just like, oh, come to this dinner, like we're just gonna meet this person, like see what happens, and it's like I try to do that for people. I know Mark's always done that for like his friends too, like. I know a lot of his friends like from back home came and like started working with us, and like even though he's the one that dropped out, it's like they were able to like finish up school and then come, and we were able to build something together. So I think it was, you know, it's just cool being able to like say yes to things and present opportunities to your friends and like be open to that. I think it's opened a lot of doors for ourselves, and then we try to do it for other people, and it kind of just all comes full circle. So yeah, I mean, partying's definitely a lot of what we do, I guess, and you know, working in those industries, but it's not always like fun for sure. You know what I mean? It definitely, like you were saying, it looks, I think, like crazy. Like every weekend looks crazy, and we're always doing different things. Like, you know, we just did that show. We're here on the podcast with you. Like Friday, I'm filming, you know, a project with Drew Brees, and then going out to Denver that same night to go, you know, see my buddy who shoots for this big DJ Grizz. And like, it's just like a bunch of like fun stuff's always happening, but there's definitely
it's work as
like,
well.
There's work as well. And then there's also like, you know, the bad times. Like there's stressful times, and there's stuff where we have to like do the stuff that you don't want to do. So we're able to showcase a lot of the fun, but I think we try to be transparent on like, it's not always fun, if that makes sense.
You do a horrible job at that because it all looks fun though.
Well,
yeah. I mean,
I literally want to sell my gyms and just
let's
go
talk about it here. Like I'll talk about it here. Like ask me anything about it here, but
you're a father as well.
Yeah.
So do you find the balance difficult? Being a father and then being gone so many times, like how do you balance your life in that aspect of being a father and then your business?
Yeah, Koa's 8 months old right now, so It was definitely a shock at first, and I mean, you're a girl dad, so I don't know. There's something crazy about
that's why I'm
having
smiling.
like,
I'm just like,
having like a little girl, and I was definitely super scared. Like it wasn't planned. It was actually when my ex and I broke up. Like found out after, so it was like all these mixed emotions. And you know, she's amazing. She's freaking amazing mother. Like that child is so loved, and you know, we've been doing a great job at co-parenting. Like we spend a lot of time together and take her a bunch of places. But yeah, I think at the beginning it took a little bit for me to connect, like if I'll be honest, especially because I wasn't there every day. And now it's like I don't even want to spend like one day not like seeing her. So I was traveling a lot the last couple of months, probably like 10 different states with the DJ, and then like 3 different countries. So I was like gone every weekend, and just I don't know, you're traveling all that time, and like there is partying involved, and like you're not sleeping because the shows are like you're going on at like 2 a.m. or whatever. And so I'd get home and my body would just like I'd be like a zombie. So then I felt like I wasn't really giving her like my energy or like my time, and like I was like half the time like her mom's name's Cheyenne, like you know she'd be like with her like trying to hang out with me, and I'm like falling asleep. And it's like it definitely did take a toll on me, and I started realizing like I don't want to be gone that much, and I don't really want to be doing that side of things. So you know we're kind of figuring out what we want to build in the back end of the industry, because we love the industry, but you know how can we be a part of it without having to be like on the ground running and still be able to you know dictate our schedules and do what we want to do, and leave when we want to leave. So yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I know, you know, it's just the more the personality like develops, I'm just like, damn, like, I don't want to be anywhere else.
And right now you're like at that peak experience where they're like 8 months, where my daughter, like every day, even now she's 3, I got chills right now. She just like, she learns, she just learns so much. And like, I feel like girls, they want their dads, because it's always like, especially if it's something like where she gets scared, she always wants me. You know, something she's scared, or she knows, I don't know, it's just weird. It's a weird, Ziggy, you have girls, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, you have to be there. And first of all, kudos to you, because you fucking stepped up big time. I mean, a lot of people are in your similar situation that are listening to this, and either the father, you know, if you want to call him that, fucking bailed out.
They choose the other side.
And you choose the other side, the partying. I know it's alluring, right? You're young, bro. You're super young, so going out and you're around beautiful people all day. But what I appreciated and respected a lot about you was the fact that you make so much time for your daughter. You know what I mean? And even speaking about your baby mama, you know, your guys are on to something great with that little one. So I know that's why I wanted to ask you, you know, like, how's that balance? Like, how has your mindset shifted now that you have a daughter, as far as like what your aspirations were for the business? Because right now you have to be there, right? You have to be there every single day with whatever it is you're doing. So like, has your goals changed and what you want to do like in 5 years now that you have your daughter?
Yeah, I mean, I love the industries we work in. I love what we're doing. You know, we'll talk about it probably in a little bit, but like we're launching an alcohol company coming up soon. Like there's a lot of stuff that's still going to require us to like be away and like be in the scene and like, and be all that. So I think it's just, which I think is, you know, you're ever working on it, but like finding a balance of it and like not getting too consumed in it and like having your time to have fun, but also like being able to hone it in. Yeah, it's definitely made me want more and want to like figure more out, I think, a little bit sooner. Because like you said, it's like you're doing a lot of things and you're trying to find out what sticks, and like a lot of things aren't going to stick and a lot of things aren't going to hit, but then, you know, you get that 1 or 2 that do hit, and then you're able to like ride it out. Like I wouldn't say we've reached like where we want to be at all yet, you know what I mean? But Palm Place was something that stuck and was able to like give us jobs and give our friends jobs, and like we were able to actually create something out of it. So I think we're just kind of trying to find like where's the next level of that. And then it's also like doing so much and being in so many different industries. It's like, all right, well, which ones do we actually like? Like, what do we actually want to stay in? Like, I was in the fitness industry for maybe 6 years, like from the training side of it to the working in the nutrition shop to working in a supplement company to working on the creative side. And it was like, I don't, you know, I did everything I wanted to do in the fitness industry, like still love it. Like I'm still, you know, I go to this gym Moxie, that's one of our clients, regularly. I absolutely love it. Like love that community. But I don't necessarily want to like work in that like industry anymore, I guess. So
like the fitness space is what you're referring to.
Yeah. And it's just different. So I feel like it, like Palm Place is cool because it's allowed us to like dabble in a bunch of different industries and, you know, have a lot of different side hustles, meet a lot of different people. And now I think, at least for me, like at my age right now and with the daughter and everything, like with Koa, it's getting to a point where like, okay, I kind of need to figure out what I like and what I need to stick with. My brain's just very bad at that. Like I'll do a lot of different things.
Well, because you're artist.
And
You're artist, bro. Yeah. We had a discussion on the last podcast. Like your brain as an artist is everywhere.
And you're never satisfied. You're always just like...
Yeah, you're never going to be satisfied.
And you get bored quick, at least for me.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like I'm painting one day and then I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And it's hard. So I guess I don't really have a straight answer for you. I'm still trying to figure that part out.
I
you know
mean,
what I mean? But
and that's almost probably part of being a parent in general, right?
Yeah,
I'm
probably
not
the
a
best
parent,
answer,
but
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you learn every single day. You're
Yeah.
constantly learning something new.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best answer. I think what I tell a lot of young parents or just parents that are new, I had this discussion with Marissa. She just had her baby. There is no such thing as balance. You just kind of, you put to the forefront what is the most important right now. And it sounds,
In that season.
in that season. And it sounds really bad, but even when I
Yeah.
first opened the gym, like my wife was having our first child, and I knew my wife had it, so I had to take all my attention to the gym.
Yeah.
And I told her, like, hey, give me a year, give me 2 years, and I guarantee you we're going to be like in a way better place. So like the pressure of being successful only motivated me. I love that.
Yeah.
I love pressure. So for me, it motivates me to do more, to be more. But it did for me, it changed my perspective of what I wanted to do. I want to be, have so many streams of income that I could still pick my daughter up. I pick her up, I take her to school,
Yeah.
I brush her hair, I do all that. Like that's all me. I want her to grow up knowing that, you know. So like when people say, what's your end game? You know, right now I live a great life. We don't worry about finances. The gyms are doing well. My daughter's happy. And to me, it's like, if I put things in perspective, you know, take out the material things, I have a great life.
Yeah.
And that's what I always fall back onto. And that's like the advice I would give you is like, you have a beautiful, healthy daughter.
Yeah.
You know, some people aren't
100%.
lucky to have a healthy daughter.
Yeah.
You know, and you can have a good relationship with your baby mama. So all that you can do is surround that girl with love and continue to do what you do and build your empire. And then you're going to look up one day and she's going to drop out of school. And when you send her to private school,
And just pursue her dreams.
Yeah, it's hard because like Cheyenne has like 3 degrees, like
okay, so
total
it's different.
finance, like work. And I mean that's what's also great though. Like her being so like down and about her own stuff allows me to be able to still explore my stuff
Yeah.
at the same time, which is super cool. And she's super supportive of that. So yeah, I think just trying to keep like a healthy dynamic with everything, you know, is like the most important part. But yeah, that baby is very loved already by
dude, I could tell.
by everybody, man. So
Yeah.
it's
no,
crazy.
you know, so I only ask because I get that question asked. People think I'm anti-school. I'm not anti-school. Like I want my daughter to go to college. I do.
Yeah.
I really do. I want her, if it's for something like you said, like if she wants to be an accountant, she wants to be a nurse, she wants to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is. I feel like there's a real purpose to go to school.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I just want to get into business, I'm like, bro, I can teach you everything you need to know.
100%.
Right. So like, have you had that? Do you guys ever butt heads with that? Like you and your baby mama about like plans? Because I know we talked about, my wife and I talked
You're
about
right,
like,
especially for being
Yeah.
a creative and then somebody who has
Like-
3 degrees.
like
No, I
even
mean, she's-
tattoos, right? Like my daughter loves my tattoos, and she's like, I want tattoos. And I was like, you're never getting. My wife has 0 tattoos, and she's
Yeah.
against tattoos. So
Okay.
she's like, you're not getting any. So I'm like, we'll discuss that when she gets older.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked about it too much yet. I guess she's very creative too. She has a like very, very creative side. So I mean, I really just think it's kind of whatever she wants to do. I mean, I'm gonna push her to go to school. Like, go to school, try to get your degree and everything. But if you tell me you're not, you want to do something else, and I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard to like see everything we're doing and all her 20 uncles are doing, and it's just like everyone's doing something a little different to be like.
and then who knows what the world will be like in 20 years
seriously.
anyway.
And I do think like now it's definitely a lot more accepted to not go to school, and people are
is.
kind of figuring that out that you don't really need to. I mean, like we have no student debt at all, which is
Hey,
kind of
same
crazy.
here.
Versus like I know people that are just swimming in it, and it's. So I mean, I don't know. It's really like a case by case thing. I mean, if she says she wants to be a doctor, I'm going to tell her to go to school. If she says she wants to do X, Y, Z, go to school. But if she doesn't, like if she wants to be a DJ or if she wants to be something else, like we have resources for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I don't know. With the way my brain works, I can't speak on that. I feel like to her, it's kind of like I'm going to try to support whatever avenue it is. And,
Well, it's always crazy to put yourself in a position of a parent, right? Like you guys have like, oh fuck it, we know what we're doing, we're gonna drop out. But now you're a parent, so now you know what your mom and dad are thinking when you're like, I'm just gonna do art and I'm gonna take pictures and like, how the fuck,
yeah.
Because I now all the things my dad used to tell me, they make sense because I pay bills and I have to think about 5 years down the line, so I can see why my dad was so stressed, but also he worked the 9 to 5. So I mean, it's always good to put yourself back in perspective of like, now you're a parent, what your daughter's gonna be. But she's 8 months, you're right. Let's just
Only
get her
8 months.
Yeah.
We're talking
I mean, I won't lie. Like our dad was a cop, like gang task force, like total badass, like worked, undercover, all sorts of stuff. And it was like,
yeah.
I still weirdly think he even supported me probably the most. Like even when we butt heads, like he still like always pushed me. Like I love to write. He was like, oh, you should get into English. You should do this or you should do that. Like I love to draw. He's like, well, you should. He was still very quick to always cheer on like anything that was creative, because I do think he thought that that's like how I would end up. even aside from the school thing. Mom was a little bit more worried about the school for sure. I think would still love for us to finish school, even if we just got the degree just to have it. But I think that's just like the safety net of it. You know what I mean? But I will say I've never been asked where I went to school, and I've been in rooms with corporate execs. I've been in rooms with famous people. I've never been asked, where'd you go to school? I've never been asked, what degree do you have? I've walked in with my nails painted. I've walked in with tattoos. I've walked in with mosaic colored hair.
I say that.
No one's ever said anything to me.
Yeah, bro, you change your hair color so often.
But you know what I mean?
And I think we just live in a time where none of that's important anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't have to go to school to be successful, you know? So
I'm sure if I walk into a hospital and try to be a doctor, they're going to ask me where I went to school.
course.
But like what I do, they don't, you know?
But even now, like talking about Home Place, like you're so young, like you said, no one really asked you, you know, what your degree is or your education. Do people kind of like, I don't know, not give you a hard time, but are they kind of hesitant because you're so young?
So young, yeah. It's a good question.
I don't think a lot of people like know how young they are.
They do now.
I kind of gauge, I think, the conversation. If I think it's something that's going to be to my benefit, then I'll let them know my age. Maybe after I speak.
Yeah.
So there's no like prejudgment, but no, I don't think it's ever really been a problem. I think now more than ever, it's actually worked to my advantage because since I'm young, people feel that I know like the trends and what's going on and how business works or how social works, etc. So it's helped more than anything, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I wanted to have you guys on, and I've had a couple other people that have I guess what we call it, like social media. They handle people's social media. Is that no matter what your business is, like you have DJs, you have a spin gym that I know you guys help. Everybody needs social media.
Yeah.
So like speaking to the audience right now, people, even if you're an individual in the fitness or whatever, what's the most important thing you think is for a business with social media? Like what's the most important thing they could really hammer down?
I mean, creating content in general, it's like you have to take that leap and you have to start making stuff. If you're just going to not post and stay stagnant, you're not going to get any like traffic. I think right now organic is obviously one of like the biggest ways to get people to your page. Like,
explain organic. Do you mean just like being authentic?
Like organic social, like more than even like paid. Like you can make a piece of content that goes viral on like any of these short form content platforms and drive a ton of traffic to your business. So like TikTok, obviously, I mean, that's been the talk this entire year, but TikTok, there's also like YouTube Shorts, there's Facebook Reels, there's all these other short form content platforms that you should take advantage of and make sure that you're posting on all of them consistently to try to get as much views as possible.
Yeah, so like a new business that probably can't, maybe they don't really see the importance of that. You think the first thing they should attack is like a TikTok or just being consistent with posting content in general?
I mean,
I think.
Go ahead. I would say too, just like you do an amazing job at this. I've always, seen it just from afar. Even I don't think I've been to the gym yet, or around, but just like building a culture, like building a community that trusts you. And like the Gym Moxie, like they have an amazing culture. Yeah. Like everyone loves being there, loves the instructors, loves the people. It's just. I mean, I go every morning just because I want like the energy of like the place, you know what I mean? So, and I'm sure your place is the same way. That's what I see from afar. So if you can't afford to like have content or like, bring all those things in right away, like just focus on your people. And I mean, that's going to drive you the farthest, I think.
Yeah,
like,
you do actually do a great job of that because I've obviously followed you for a long time. And sometimes I'm like, I'll get on Instagram and I see you and you're just so motivating. And especially with like your team and stuff. So then that motivates me. I'm like, oh, this is like, okay, I need to get off my ass and like work. You know what I mean? Like, because you're constantly pushing like, and I think that's true. Like social media is so important. People don't want to like admit that, but that's where we're going. Everything is social media. So especially with you, you do a great job with like, motivating. I feel like just watching your Instagram, like I'm learning business things as I go. Like you make me want to like create more. Like I don't know, as far as like videos or like talking, like people feel like they know you and they can engage with you and feel inspired by you just from the stuff that you post. So yeah, that goes back to just like a culture.
Yeah,
and being authentic.
I mean, I always use social media as that. So even before, like I tell people, like a lot of my trainers, they feel like, oh, I only have like, I don't know, X number, 800 followers, 300 followers. I was like, dude, when I started Instagram, like really started doing it with self-made as putting on the forefront, I had 200 followers. I could care less about social media. I didn't need it. But one thing that I did do was I got really comfortable speaking because I feel like social media is a reality TV show. I mean, I kind of feel like that when I look at yours, right? It's like a reality, like, what are you up to? What are you doing today? When I look at yours, I'm like, what are you up to? What are you doing? So I always tell the trainers, like, I feel like posting is important, especially reels, because reels are going to get you crazy traction if one hits, like you said. But stories, I feel, build that relationship with your audience a little more. And correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys are experts in it, but I feel like the more reels I do, I get so many more views than I'll ever get like likes on a post, right? But I kind of give the ins and outs of what I do day to day, and people feel more connected to me. So for me, I usually tell the trainers, obviously the first conversation I have with them is literally about social media. Like I partner with you as a trainer because you're a great trainer. That we're not working on you being a trainer. We're working on how do we get that exposure for you. So that's why, like, for you guys coming on here, I don't even know how the fuck I started following you. Maybe it was a story, or maybe it was Alan. I think maybe Alan or somebody that we were connected.
Yeah, so I think something like that. Something with Self-Made, I think, at the time.
But that's what's so great about social media, right? Is like, I've never met you, but I fucking know everything.
You feel like you know them.
Yeah. And so you guys do a great job on that. So people that are listening that are like, business owners, or even, people in the fitness space, they love to listen to these, like, just because they want to gain like a little cheat code. So like, what would be some cheat codes you would give to somebody? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but like, what's some cheat codes?
Give us the cheat codes.
Do this every day for X results.
Mark, you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good question.
I think back to what he said a little bit about culture. It's sharing those like personal things about yourself. If you're a business owner, and if you're like a trainer, I mean, obviously you're a business owner yourself. But having people like get in touch with who you are, because the reason you wanted us on here is because you think we do cool stuff and think we're cool people. So I think that's been something massive for us. It's just people like wanted to meet us, and we gained friends online, and that's helped us build so many connections. So just like putting out our personal stuff and like not being afraid of that, if someone's gonna like it or not, whether that's music, whether that's just any sort of interest, I think that goes a long way for sure.
I mean, just to bank off that, I think it's just like being your authentic self, and like really just like no one. Can I cuss on this?
Of course you can.
I mean, like I cussed way too much on the last podcast I was on. Like I heard it back, but I'm just like, no one gives it like shit like after a day. You know what I mean? Like people like overthink so much about like posting something or doing something. Like they make this piece of art, or they do this project, or they go here and they don't want to show it because they think they're gonna get judged about it, or when you're young and you're starting something, you think someone's gonna talk crap, but like. Honestly, it's living in their head for maybe that 30 seconds they see it, and then they don't give a shit about you after that. Yeah. But like if you do something that does stick with them, then it's really going to live in their head for a while. You know what I mean? So your chances of it actually benefiting you are way higher than it is of like it's not going to do anything negative to you. Like even if someone does talk crap about you, like
they're still talking about you.
You probably don't care, but you know what I mean? So like, but you do something where they're like, I don't know, like I've been painting recently, and it's like I make a painting that like somebody's like, somebody may think that looks like shit, but then somebody may pay me XYZ for it, and I'm like, holy shit, like I'm glad I posted that or I put that out. Or like, starting a company, like people are probably gonna talk crap about it, whether it's like they're too afraid to start a company, or they plain out just don't like you, or they don't like it. But some people may buy your product and your company may blow up. So I think it's like every day, like creating, whether it's creating content or just like putting yourself out there, as simple as like recording your day and like what you're doing. Like I think that's something we've always talked about too, is like we weirdly get a lot of work from my Instagram, and I post all day. They even give me shit for it. Like I post everything I do. Like they'll talk crap to me, and I'm like, I don't really care, because we just got 3 new clients from them seeing me do some completely random thing that has nothing to do with work, or somebody messaging me that my daughter's cute, or like whatever it is. They just start to see like themselves in you, and they start to see like I could do that too, or like I enjoy that too, and it's like you're real. Like I think before, everybody's like Instagrams were like very professional and very like clean. Like Visuals and I would always talk about this. Like he had this amazing photography Instagram, but he never really showed like his real life. And then I would show my real life, and we'd still kind of get the same amount of work when we were photographers. And I was always like, oh, I should make mine more professional, or I should showcase this. And I never really went that way, and it actually just worked, just doing completely whatever I wanted to post. I feel like you kind of did it too. Like you incorporate the business a lot, your fashion, your family, like everything, and it, like to me, that's cooler. I want to follow that.
You want to follow what's more relatable,
a picture in the gym every single day, or this every single day. Like I want to know more about you, because even if I don't know you, then I can connect to you, and then I probably I know we'll get along because we like a lot of the same things.
Facts.
Versus I don't really know what this person is other than the same selfie they take in front of the mirror, or the same professional picture they take, or whatever it is. Like Visuals is a great, like I know him now as like a great friend, but I didn't even know what the guy looked like for a year.
That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we would laugh about that. I'm like, I'm digging deep to like see what this guy looks like. And then he like walks into our apartment, looks nothing like I thought he would look. And then, you know, 2 years later, we're still working together. We've like traveled around the country together. We've done all this crazy shit. But yeah, I think just put yourself out there and like don't be afraid of it. Every single day, put yourself out there somehow.
I love that.
I would say
And that's true. And even if somebody doesn't like your work, maybe they don't, but they're still going to support you and they're still going to like buy from you and they're still going to like utilize you just because they like you as a person and they feel relatable and they trust you, because trust is so important. Yeah.
I would say too, like maybe like a hybrid of both. I think like I don't do a good enough job of this, but also trying to put value out there in some sort. Like if it's business, like marketing, like maybe trying to put out some tips, but also showing your personal life. I think the people who are just completely one-sided on either like spectrum, like, you know, don't get the best results. So I would just try to do a little bit of everything. I think that helps for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think having a social media calendar, honestly, is something that's important. And I tell people, if you're really
social media calendar.
Yeah, if you're taking this seriously and you're really trying to accomplish something with social media, this is the analogy I always tell trainers. I always ask them, how much does it cost to post on IG right now?
It's free.
It's free. How much does it cost to post on TikTok?
Free.
It's free, right?
You
Stories
can
are free.
actually get paid now.
You can actually get paid now. So why wouldn't you use every avenue you can? So the social media calendar that I always use, and this is free game if you're like totally lost on social media, is I always tell them, what's 3 things you love? Right? Fitness obviously is one. We're here. You know, fashion, if I just relate myself, and then family. So I try to post a little bit of all that, and then with the podcast 3 times a week. But the big thing, going back to what you're saying, like you just post without worrying about what people say, is if people say something negative, my Instagram isn't for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people that are like, hey, my friends and family, you know, because I got that in the beginning. We get it. You're fit. We get it. You own a gym. I go, oh, that's cool. But I even told them that, like, my social media isn't for you anymore then. Because I'm not posting my cat. I'm not posting stuff like that. It's literally based off of people that I feel like I can connect with, you know. So even now, social media, I got shit because I unfollowed a lot of people. It's because I have to track so many trainers. I want to be active with them. So people are like, you don't follow me no more, I'm going to unfollow you. I was like, I'm totally okay with that. No, I actually got DMs from people that like, hey, I noticed you unfollowed me. That's so rude. I'm going to unfollow you. Bro, I'm totally okay with that. Like, it's
really,
yeah. I just told them, hey, like, I use social media for business. I want to get in, I want to get out, and I want to be active with my trainers and the people that are in my circle, and that's what I use it for. But that's kind of the advice I would give people, is like, who gives a fuck what people are saying, because that's not for them. Right? If I'm trying to sell an ebook and I'm literally promoting my ebook, there's going to be, you need 10% of people to really buy into that. And that 10% is what's going to get you to the next level. That's kind of how I feel with all that.
I love that.
Yeah, you have trouble with that.
I do.
You have trouble with that.
With Instagram?
No, I think you do a good job, but of just you worry too much about what people are going to say.
I do, because like the same thing. I'm an artist too. I like paint, I draw, and I create. But I can tell you this: out of all of my paintings and all of my drawing, let's say not one is finished. They're probably finished in someone else's eye, but to me, they're never finished. They're never perfect. So they're sitting there, and people have offered to like purchase, and I don't. I won't sell it. Because to me, it's not good enough, and I'm like, I can't sell you this, and I'm in my own head, and I get that a lot. And everyone's always like, just like, you're in your own head, and that's what's gonna like hold you back. Because like nobody sees what you see, and you're so great, but like you're gonna hold yourself back. Like you are what's holding yourself back, because you're not like, you're caring too much, you know, and that is my problem. Like even with now, like I do like permanent makeup or like learning to tattoo and all of these things, like it's not perfect. So I'm like, no, like I can't, it's not perfect, but it's true. Like nobody gives nobody cares. You just gotta do it and stop being in your own head, because you're the only person that's holding yourself back. And that's me. And I'm learning that now. I'm starting to like let it go and just be, and now it's like things are opening. But for so long I was in my own way because it was just never good enough, you know? Yeah, I am. I'm definitely like that.
You're like every artist listening right now.
Oh yeah, but it's okay. Like, yeah, you just gotta learn to just, nobody cares. Just be free and just go and let things go, and everything will work out. And so like I'm learning that, definitely learning that. But yeah, I get it. I feel that.
So Palm Place, you guys have seen how social media has changed. I mean, you started in 5th grade, so what was that? Facebook? Where do you think the direction of just social media is going, like from what you guys seen trends and stuff like that? Especially, I know you guys have to stay on top of it for clients and stuff like that. Like, what direction do you see it going?
I mean, I feel like everyone's attention span is definitely shortening. Like, I think that's what kind of TikTok did. I mean, I was literally on Netflix the other day on my phone, and they have their own short form content thing of just like trailers and stuff, and it's pretty crazy. I do think I see short form content sticking around for a while. I also see like a bunch of other platforms trying to build off of
Short
that.
form content. What do you mean by
TikTok's going to
So
start
like
doing
TikTok,
that too.
so TikTok's like, so anything from like, 10 to like 30 seconds is like probably considered
Is
short.
30 seconds considered? I feel like 30 seconds is long.
So that's
And
what
I
I mean.
heard
Yeah, it
TikTok's
sounds long
actually going to
now.
start
Yeah.
creating. You're going to be able to start creating your own like reality like TV from TikTok too, in a sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. So just shorter content, like compared to like YouTube, like people used to put so much effort into like building out a YouTube video that's like 15 to 20 minutes to now creating like these micro clips just to capture people's like attention in the first 3 seconds. But I think other platforms are going to build on the organic reach that TikTok made. So just like allowing anybody to get exposure, which like Instagram's doing even with like posts and stuff like that. So I kind of see it shifting that way, which I think is cool. I think it's definitely taking away a little bit from like influencers and stuff as well, because like a lot of like brands are focusing more on like user generated content from just average individuals than actual people with like major platforms.
I've heard that
I see
before.
that being something that sticks around for a bit as well, because I think it resonates more with people than just like someone with hundreds of thousands of followers saying that they use this product that they probably have never used before. But yeah, I mean there's going to be a lot of changes. I mean, we can't really predict anything specifically, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, from the creative side, do you feel it's hard to, like, if I come to you with a product, I'm like, hey, I want to do a video on this, and know that you have like 15 seconds to make this, you know what I mean? Is it hard to get the point across of what you're trying to do, or how do you combat that? Because you said long form is kind of non-existent now. So like, what would you recommend to somebody that's trying to get that out?
Well, I just think like before, right? Like when we started this, like say 2-3 years ago, you wanted to make, I'll just say like pretty content, right? Like you wanted to be more artistic, you wanted to be more cinematic. That's when like movement was super big, all like the travel content, like all of that. Like everyone was making this like really like beautiful, cool, location-wise, like campaign content.
Right.
And now it's like somebody in their kitchen holding that water bottle, telling you why they like the water in like 10 seconds, and they shot it on their iPhone. So do I think it's like difficult? Not necessarily. I guess for me, actually, it is more difficult sometimes because I'm more artistic. So I'm looking at it like, we can shoot this really cool, but now I have to like simplify what I'm thinking, and like, how would I sell it with a mom in a kitchen just talking about her favorite water bottle versus shooting some like really cool campaign of her getting it out of the fridge and like drinking it and taking it with her throughout her day. So it's just like, it's changed in ways that, to me, it's just not as artistic now. It's just like, how can I tap into that 10 seconds that I have of someone's brain? If even 10 seconds,
like
like
3 seconds.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very bad at being on my phone a lot too. And I think it comes from like working so much in like the industry and like having to be on my phone so much, but it's also like, I can have like 30 people text me and I'm not texting anybody back, and I'm like scrolling through here and I'm just like, and it's just like so much is happening, and I'm like 4 days later I'm like, hey, my bad. Or I have like
4 days later.
No, I'm the same.
but it's
way.
bad.
That's
I mean,
so
even when
funny.
I texted you, it's like I've texted you a good amount of times, but I'm like, I have 2 Jasons. I don't know which Jason's which Jason.
We've
And
had our own dispute over text. I'm like, I'm done with you guys.
before I'm like, and sometimes
the
it's just
same.
so much comes in at one time that like, and I kid you not, I can show you my phone. I talk to probably maybe 30 to 40, 50
Same.
people a day.
Same.
And you do too.
I
And some
know.
people think it's like crazy, and it's like, but I can't keep up sometimes. And then like, I'm going back and forth between conversations that I'm forgetting to save a number. I'm forgetting to do this. And it's like, I if I'm sitting here with you, I'm giving you like my undivided attention and I'm talking to you, but it's hard. So like, even keeping my focus for myself is difficult. So like, how am I going to get somebody to focus on a 10-second ad about a water bottle? It's difficult. It's just changed. It's not, and I will say it's taken like a little bit of like the fun out of like the industry for me, for sure. And we're aiming to do like some kind of more big, like, we went to Tulum and shot a swimsuit campaign like a couple months ago.
Oh, that's
And we got to
dope.
take the whole team out and like have fun. We stayed for a couple days, but like things like that, like way more fun creating something that you actually are like really proud of and like that like just looks really good, and like there's models and there's a whole team doing it, versus like I'm in the kitchen with my iPhone on a tripod and I'm shooting this, and like, but that is more, it's just more used now.
Converts better.
It converts better.
Yeah.
Does it really?
It's
Crazy.
bringing in
Yeah.
more money. It's that's what's hitting a lot more now, because at the same time, I think there's so many people that can create beautiful content. I mean, there really is. There's so many creatives. There's so many amazing photographers, videographers,
And
everything
it's easy
like that.
now because there's just apps that you can
Yeah.
put in photos and it creates it for you.
Instagram has the templates, right? Like you can literally
Yeah.
take someone's shit and just put
And
your
just put your
pictures
own-
in. It's
and
the
then it
same
creates
thing,
it.
So
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think it's just shifted. It's been like, I guess, like a little bit more like witty. It's having humor in it. It's being more
You
like
have to have a hook,
attention
just
driven,
like-
having a hook, like all of that.
Yeah, I think it's, for us as owning a creative agency, it's been interesting because we can do like commercial grade content creation, and then we went from that to people requesting UGC, and it's just something
what's UGC?
A user generated content. So
Okay.
it's like something that seems like it's coming from, you know, you. If you have a water bottle and you like it, it would be something like shot on an iPhone.
So you do that? Like you'll take someone's iPhone and like do? Is that
so
what
we'll
you're-
make UGC
We'll make
content.
UGC
Yeah.
content, so we'll work with like different creators or people will
Well,
come
I didn't
in.
know that was
And
a thing.
We'll do
Oh,
like a
it's-
little setup with an iPhone in like someone's kitchen and just film them. Like I have a clothing brand right now, and like all of our ads and everything that's been created
Just from an iPhone.
It's all from my iPhone. So that's what we
crazy.
run, and like we have our videographers shooting like BTS and everything, but like we're not even going to use any of their content to run ads. It's just everything that was shot on an
And
iPhone.
even in the music industry, I laugh, and there's like so many memes that go around on everything, and like that's kind of new to me. But like everyone had like full photographers, videographers shooting everything, and now a lot of people are just traveling with a guy with an iPhone. I mean, I just did it on the last 4 times we went. I didn't even take my camera. I just took an iPhone. Like we got a refurbished iPhone, shot the concerts on the iPhone. They posted that, and that was it.
Wow.
Hey Ziggy, we're gonna talk
Changing a
after this.
lot.
Cheat codes, yeah.
So I think I
You
just
just
put you out of
left
a job.
the job.
It's all good. We can show you how to use an iPhone if you need.
Oh shit! My content guy.
You mean all I have to do is get a tripod and a refurbished iPhone and we're good?
I'm like, I'm shooting my podcast on iPhones. I'm just saying.
Bro, my content guy's
Same
looking at
here.
you like, what the fuck are you?
Shut up. Like, why'd you ask for these cheat codes?
No, you know, I've had like we're gonna have guests on Friday, and they shoot everything on the what's it, the iPad? They shoot, but it's
Yeah,
live.
iPad.
Yeah, they shoot it live. I was like, I don't know if I could do it live.
Street Scholars too.
Street Scholars shoots live. You guys shoot live?
And it's through iPhone.
That's dangerous.
But I will say this, that the quality still from a camera is just, you can't beat it too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
different content for different platforms.
Oh,
too.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Instagram, like we still like to take nice photos.
He's trying
and
to
have
save
things
you, bro. Go ahead.
Eh,
Even
still have my
with
camera.
brands.
yeah.
With brands too, like it's like a mixture of a little bit of everything. Like
Yeah.
We'll do full product photography with like a camera that looks really good, and we'll do some professional shots and mixed in with like UGC content. But it's more on the ad side where I think that performs a lot better
yeah.
than like the polished content right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you have. I think, like he said, you have to incorporate everything, right? Like, if you're starting a brand, you're not just shooting UGC iPhone content. Like,
Right.
you're not just shooting that. Like, you're gonna have like like. Even though a lot of your content for that brand you guys just started like is UGC, like you guys
We
still
did
did a
a
full camera shoot in
did
the
a shoot,
studio
yeah.
with photos for all the products. So
For the
I think
website.
it's just being able to utilize everything and then knowing like what respected avenue it falls into. And like ads right now are performing a lot better using UGC content. But like we're filming like I was saying, that commercial for like this drink company with, you know, we're not very sports guys, but like Drew Brees this Friday, and it's like we listed out all the camera equipment we're bringing. We weren't just like
Right.
we're coming with 2 iPhones and a reflection.
Imagine Drew Brees is there. He's like, I'm ready. You're like, let me get portrait mode.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it just varies, and like those things are way bigger budget than
Yeah.
other things. You know what I mean? So it's like it just kind of depends on what you're targeting. Like for us, it's definitely more fun to shoot a campaign and do something that is more artistic versus doing UGC stuff. So I think it's just like it's just shifting and
Yeah.
being able to pivot, and that just happened this like last year. So in another year, we're gonna have to pivot again, and
Yeah,
I think it's just
True.
this constant like pivot. COVID hit, you had to pivot. Like it's just you have to keep up with the times, or you know that's it. And I do
Yeah.
think that's what like he was touching on earlier is like him being younger, and I think we just kind of saw this with the last client we went in. This new client we got, it's like they were more attracted to like everybody being younger because we do know like what's happening. I even kind of feel old now versus them. You know what I mean? And it's
Just
like,
wait.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's like changing so fast that you can't really keep up.
You're
So I feel
right.
like it's more of an advantage now than it was like, oh, I'm looking at you like, you know, in a different way, and I'm thinking like less of you because you're younger. Or like, yeah, it's just like I was saying, we get a lot of different opportunities that are really cool, and like sometimes it's like, oh, how am I doing this with these people? And 5 years ago, they would have looked at me like not even let me through the door probably. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
shifting.
crazy because like you are young, but I mean, in essence, you've been doing this since you were in the fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
Yeah.
So you probably know more. Yeah.
So I've learned to give everyone time at the table because people, I mean, especially like younger, like if you're under 30, you're fucking a kid to me. So I've learned so much from my trainers.
Jason, how old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
37.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
don't
You
ask
don't look
me.
37.
No, good. That's the Asian gene. It's a
Oh, well,
half
don't
Asian
ask
gene.
me how old I
Too late. We already got it on a podcast.
I know. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like 15
I mean,
years older than
so
you.
when someone comes in and I talk to them, it's kind of like they could be fucking 18. Like there's a kid that just came in. He's 19, worked a job, and his social media is killing it. He does all his own edits. He learned, and I'm like, damn, bro, you're onto something big. you know,
Wow.
so he's teaching me some things of how to edit. But
Yeah.
again, it's not the same demographic. Like my thing isn't for that younger, you know, I'm not going to start posting all this shirtless transitions and then have like an energy drink. My thing's different. So there's an avenue for everything, I think, is the biggest thing. Kind of leading into my next question is like you're starting a podcast. Is that together or is that just something that you're doing, Alex?
No, it's something I started with like two of my buddies. Originally, like we called it like Talking to My Demons, just to like talk about.
That's a good
like,
one.
Yeah,
That is a good one.
So yeah, we have like a couple
That is
different
a good
things.
one.
So like that was kind of fun. Like our first one we recorded before was like on like self-sabotage and just like, yeah, we're kind of like three pretty similar guys, but also have like our differences. And I don't know, like we would just sit down and like talk for like hours, like just, you know, like for me that's like therapy, like talking to your friends or talking to like people that, you know, you trust and stuff like that.
That's a meme, right? I saw that going around. I think maybe you even posted it's like, guys, stop trying to avoid therapy just by starting a podcast.
Yeah, I posted it when we announced our podcast.
That's funny.
Right.
But I was just, so it was just like I was talking to, we were like, man, we should just start recording these. So like we were going to try to do that. And then we just got like really busy. And now we were like, all right, if we get a space, we're going to do it. Like, let's just lock in. So we're calling it It's Never Bad. Because like the other thing that we kind of always say is like when you don't really know how something's going to turn out, like, you know, you can, I think it was like this old story and I don't remember it like exactly, but like some of it's like this guy had a son and, you know, he fell off a horse and it like broke his leg. And it's from this guy, Mike, I like too. And it says, you never know. Right. So he fell off, broke his leg. And then he's like, oh man, your son broke his leg. Like, that's terrible. Like he missed his opportunity for this. And he's like, oh, you never know. And then like they came and like there was a draft and they had to go to war. Well, his son didn't go to war because his leg was broken. So he's like, oh, he didn't go to war. Story. Like, you never know. So it's like stuff like that. It's like, we always say it's never bad because it's like, even when you think things are really bad, like you don't really know if they're going to be bad. Like kind of trust the redirection of things, right?
And the blessing.
So that's why we're calling it It's Never Bad because it's just something we all, like us three kind of say to each other all the time. Because you never really know like where the redirection is going to take you. So that's the name of it right now. Who knows if we'll go back to Talking About Demons. We kind of like that. But yeah, we're building out the studio right now and probably going to start it, like we're aiming to start like first week of November.
Nice.
Kind of record the first
I saw
episode.
you put it on your social media. Did you get anybody that's kind of like, oh my God, another podcast or why are you doing a podcast? You get any of that?
Honestly, not really. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure people say shit, but like,
they don't
But who
message
cares?
I mean, if you look at the three of us, you're probably not going to message us, like, especially my buddy Tave. You're not going to message him and tell him anything, but it's just funny. I think it's like a just way for us to kind of get in there and reflect on things and, you know, bring people in and reflect on things and just talk. I mean, I feel like it just gives people a space to like talk openly about something and different topics. And that's why we don't really have a plan for it. We're not even like, oh, I'm going to bring you in from this industry or from you for you. Right. It's like really just like us three talking and then whoever else kind of wants to jump on and get involved, like we're open to it. And then just using that space to like dual purpose to shoot short form content.
Yeah.
And to shoot different things like that. Like my buddy is, you know, like a mortgage broker, like real estate agent, like come in, he can shoot videos to his clients and different things. So it was just like a good asset, I think, to have in the circle. So it's aside from our own thing.
No, I tell people that. I mean, I got a couple people saying, oh man, you're doing a podcast. There's so many. And my biggest thing was just the ability to be able to network with people on a long format, right? Like podcasting has opened so many doors for me as far as individuals that I met, and even just people kind of feeling closer to like my story and things that I've accomplished. And I know some people have podcasts and their end game is to make like X amount of money from it, but I think I'm in the same boat as you. Like I even though it cost me money to do this podcast, I've worked it into a budget, and I kind of say, okay, would I be better off just advertising or having people that I would never be able to touch come out to the pod, you know, and just kind of tell me about their life. Yeah. Because by the time we leave the podcast, every single person, I felt like we built a connection. And then again, they plugged me into rooms. They're like, hey, I think so-and-so would be good.
Right.
And then people always go, how do you know so-and-so? I go, it's not me. It's this person was on and they said, hey, you should jump on this guy's podcast. And I think the networking part of it is kind of what you guys referenced in the beginning, you know, the key to your success. And so podcasting itself allows people to kind of tell their story that they wouldn't be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I agree.
Think too, there's like a lot of content you could get out of it now for short form content, like mashing that up on TikTok into like 15 different clips and just getting so many people to hear what you're saying or specific parts of the podcast that you want to be heard, which is massive. So I think that's
and I mean, like you do that, and like that's our thing. Like I don't even know if we're looking to like record every single long episode and post them all. It's just like we just want to take it, have certain clips on like, oh, he said this, that hit, like that hit. Okay, let's post those. And just like because people are paying attention to things that are fast. So like if I can get like the whole you never know story I just told, I heard on like a 15-second little podcast episode from somebody I follow. So it's like things like that, and that stuck with me like big time. So it's being able to just put out that content and have more of like a personal content thing too, I think is kind of why we're doing it. And like you said, just networking. Like I'm not planning to make any money off the podcast. I know my partners aren't planning to make any money. Like that's not like, we haven't even talked about that once. Like we're paying rent at some place, we're gonna bring stuff in, we're gonna spend money doing it and like recording it, editing it, and it's like it's really just like for us.
And I think too another reason we're gonna do it is for like brands, or like we'll probably start one for like each of our brands. Like we're launching an alcohol company. Like a great example would be like Nectar Hard Seltzer. They have like the Under the Influence podcast, and they've built that up so big, and it's given so much exposure to their company and to their drink. And then like even what the Nelk Boys are doing with their podcast, like it's one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and it's all their own products at the table.
Smart.
Which is massive. So if you have like cool people behind the brand, or even if you don't and you find cool people that would love to be hosts and you give them a platform, you can make so much content to then bring exposure to your companies and businesses.
So it's all about content
for our brand too, for sure.
Yeah, I think we do that, or we try to do that a lot. I know we post it on YouTube and stuff like that, and that's kind of like, why wouldn't you post it on YouTube kind of thing? But for the most part, I utilize the clips of guests, and I think even I'll just bring up some of the guests I had. Like Ebanks is very outspoken on his Instagram, but when you have him on the pod, he's kind of more
you see a different side of him.
It's a really different side of him, and so when you get that clip, he's like, hey, that helped my audience see that I'm not just always a super cocky guy. There's a reason behind it, And the clips, the clips are awesome. Yeah, the clips are awesome. So no, I can't wait for you guys to launch that. But about the alcohol company, can you guys like speak a little on that? What you guys gonna do with that, or is that still?
It's been in the works for a while. So back in I think 2018 or 2019, when we were in the fitness industry, we were doing sports supplements. We were gonna come out with the energy drink called Cake. So it was like fully formulated and everything, and he spent a lot of time on like the brand identity and building everything out from the creative side, and we had a whole marketing plan together. But at the time, like the supplement company started to just kind of take a turn for the worse, so we had to shift all of our attention into that and just kind of gave up on the concept. But the branding was really cool. The name Cake,
like Life is Cake. Our other slogan is like celebrate everything now.
And it like went into that lifestyle of like partying and music festivals and all this stuff before we even got into those industries. And it just kind of like fit our life, but we were doing it revolved around energy drink, when it really should have been alcohol the whole time.
And now you guys are partying in that lifestyle too. It's
exactly.
great.
So a couple years later,
my mom's gonna be pissed on that one. Don't post that shit.
Yeah, but a couple years later, one of my old like college roommates, a guy in my fraternity, was like making a hard seltzer, and his parents grew up in the alcohol industry. He has like a vineyard and alcohol distribution company, and so he was talking to me
all about
it.
Who you know.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, like
Networks.
he was gonna call it Bender, and I was like, like you could call it Cake, like with this name and this full brand identity behind it. So we started working together. He actually like handmade it in his backyard with my other partner Braden, and they worked on it like all summer and got it to something where it just tasted great.
Does it taste like cake?
We actually did a cake flavor.
The first one.
We did a cake flavor, and it was really good. But
I'd be super disappointed if it's called cake and there's not one that doesn't taste like cake.
Right now, there's not going to be, but there will be down the line. It's actually a lot better than you think. But
really?
Yeah. But so we've been working on it. There's been ups and downs with that. The alcohol industry is a whole other like
monster.
beast that we have to get into. So we've started like raising money and just like learning all about the different licensings and things that you need in that industry, and trying to talk to distribution, and then going from like making something in the backyard to then doing like a full commercial formula and working with like massive breweries. So it's been like this, but we just kind of we just got everything pretty much settled in for our first flavor. So that went into like the brew process. It's being brewed as we speak. Should be canning it in like a week.
Nice.
And then we'll have like 3,000 cans to then go try to raise a few $100,000 to then launch. And it's
dude, that's exciting.
We gotta try it.
I know, that's what I was saying. So when will you guys have it like available for sale?
Hopefully, like I'd say February.
Are you guys going to be doing online? Like, how could people buy it? How could people find it?
So it's going to start with distribution. So with alcohol, you have to like tackle, it's like a centralized area. So we're going to be launching in like San Diego, Orange County, self-distribution in OC, and then like some like San Luis Obispo. Because that's kind of like the three areas our partners are going to be at. Our breweries in San Diego, we're in OC, and then our other partners are in SLO.
Got it.
So it's just building up accounts and just trying to take over like one specific area, then move to the next and the next and the next, and then hopefully eventually pick up bigger distribution. So hopefully in the next year or so we'd be in like all of California or move to another state. But yeah, it's a tricky business. It's different than anything we've ever done, and just like learning that we come from online businesses, you can ship everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's something we're interested to. There's direct to consumer alcohol brands out there. It's just with alcohol, if you want to drink, you want to drink now. You know what I mean? You want to go to the store and just pick something up, then wait. So we have some ideas to get around that and do some like collaborations and cool stuff, but yeah.
And I mean, a lot of it will be face to face too, which I think we're pretty good at, and like throwing events and having people come out and building experiences around it. And like the branding's very like, you know, it's got like a whole drip on the can, and it says cake, like really kind of minimal, and like celebrate everything on the side. So it's just kind of have the whole brand aesthetic is really just to like celebrate life and enjoy yourself and like all that. So I think with the branding and like the merch we plan to do and like all of that, I think it'll, you know, best suit like to what we're good at there, just be able to network with people and bring people together and just have fun, you know.
Oh dude, I'm totally when it's available, we'll do a take. I know you can't sell it, right? You can't sell it to consumer like
the
directly.
first 3,000 we can't sell in general, just because there's like you need something called your colas, which like we have to submit, and then once we get those, then we can sell. But we'll have 3,000 cans, so we'll bring some, and we could taste test. So we can just
I
give it
have
out
to go
for
to
free.
a party then.
Honestly, it sucks.
Oh man, gotta come one of the IG stories.
I'm gonna have to come to a party to
Looks
taste
like I
it.
gotta go party.
Hey, babe, I gotta work. Sorry, it's a work event. No, it's been awesome, you guys. I mean, for me, you guys are doing so much, and it's great to see. Especially you guys are young,
Especially being so young.
so young, and I feel like it gives a lot of hope. I don't even want to say hope, but it gives a lot of, like you said, like inspiration to people that are listening to this that are like, oh well, I'm 18 years old. You know, who's gonna take me serious? I think what I got from this is it comes down to, for one, consistency. Right, being okay failing, but also putting yourself in the right room, and that could be as easy as just getting a mentor, as easy as maybe reaching out to someone that's doing something you want to do, and just immersing yourself in it. So for me, I feel like anyone that's listening to this, I don't care if you're in the 5th grade,
Right.
in the 5th grade, or you know, you dropped out of college. You know, it's not the end all. You know, you guys are literally proof of that.
Built something from nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's been awesome to have you guys on. We'll put your guys' Instagram on here. We'll put cake on here and everything on here. But is there anything specific you guys want to say to people that are listening that don't know you guys about the brand, about
anything
Plum Place?
coming up?
Anything coming up?
Yeah, I mean, cake hopefully in
I guess
2023.
cake,
And yeah, I mean, I think just whatever it is that you want to do, like, you know, give it a try. Just step out of your comfort zone and do it. Other than that, I mean, just try to build value. I think something you said right now is that, like, you know, if you want to find a mentor or find somebody and surround yourself with people, I think one of the most important things with that is try to build some value first, you know, because I think you don't want to just always take, you want to also be able to give. So that's something I would suggest as well.
That's good.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd go back to cake and just not being afraid to, you know, be yourself, put yourself out there. Aside from that, just like trust redirection. I think that's always been like a huge thing. Like, your life's not going to go as planned. Things are going to pop up. You may have a kid. You know, things change, and they change daily. They change weekly. They change monthly, yearly. Like, it's always going to change. And I know me, like, you know, I deal with like anxiety and different things like that sometimes too. So it's like, even when things seem to like really like wind up and like get really bad, like, just try to like hold on to the fact that it is temporary, and like, usually you're getting redirected in like a lot better place, and it's going to be, you know, worth it versus just trying to like sit in that hole, which we all get stuck in that hole sometimes. But I think like just actually trusting that it's going to change, and, you know, you're on track for like a better path, and it's going to be more suited towards you. So just be yourself and trust redirection for sure.
Yeah. One last thing too, I think like something I need to work on as well is just like taking it day by day. I think you know, I consider myself a visionary, so I always see things like way ahead of where they are, and I just like want to get there right away. And it gets to be overwhelming, you know, like you put all this pressure on yourself that you're not there because you see all these people doing things that you want to do, but you just have to take a step back and take it day by day and just keep working. And that's how it's gonna eventually be successful.
No, that's great advice to anyone listening. But again, we want to thank you guys for coming on. Hopefully we'll be able to try some cake by next year.
Yes, invited to one of your guys' events or parties or something.
Hopefully. It's a work event.
A work event.
We'll have to go.
Professional.
But, as always, you guys, we're going to drop their Instagram, but I highly suggest you follow both of these guys. Stories are fire. Your daughter's gorgeous. So, I mean, it's crazy because I get a lot of people that follow me just for my like. Oh yeah. You haven't posted your daughter's story.
It's crazy,
right? Like,
I get the same for my dog, so I get it. Just kidding.
But as always, guys, it's been great. Until next time. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Awesome.